Greetings! Welcome back to another episode of What the Hell is Wrong with Me? I'm your host, Anthony Sevins. This is where we, continue the talk about anxiety and depression issues, one issue at a time, one day at a time, one step at a time, one thing at a time. And today we're going to be talking about something very serious. For those of you who do suffer from anxiety and depression, note this is a trigger warning as we're going to be talking about the topics of suicide. Every single day, belonging to an anxiety group on the internet, I see everybody's posts and I read through everybody's posts and I see everybody's concerns about certain things. And, sometimes they can be kind of goofy and pointless posts, like you're like, oh, okay, whatever. And then at other times they can be far more serious issues that people deal with. And, what seems to always come along with depression and anxiety is loneliness, the thought of not being wanted or desired, the feeling, you get people that say like, oh, nobody cares, life sucks, nobody cares, and they always wind up saying something like, I want to kill myself. Where's the gun? I can't take it anymore. I can't take life anymore. And, a lot of us, I mean, including myself, I can raise a hand and admit that, I look at some of these suicidal posts, and to myself, I kind of roll my eyes and go like, oh boy, someone wants to kill themselves. And, and sometimes we think that, oh, okay, people just want attention. But true story. I mean, and sometimes it is that. Sometimes it is that people just want attention. They want to post. Oh, I'm going to kill myself. This is it. This is the end. And then they post it online, and then like 50 million people respond with encouraging thoughts, and nothing happens. But a true story about my best friend who passed away. And this was December, the day before Christmas Eve of 2016. And this was a person who was just loaded with anxiety and depression and a lot of neurological issues. And, he was heavily medicated. To make a super long story short, he and his wife wanted to get pregnant. And in order for them to get pregnant, it was recommended by the doctors that during the period of time of conception, he has to be off his medications, right? And when he's off his meds, obviously, just logically enough, his anxiety and his depression worsened, and it would kind of make him jittery and jumpy and all this other stuff. Anyways, one thing led to another, and he wound up hurting his wife, which he heavily regretted because he wasn't like that at all. And after he hurt his wife, she wound up taking the kids and leaving the house for just a few hours. And during that period of time, my best friend took his own life. And that's as really as far as I will go with it. So, I mean, when it comes to depression, anxiety, and suicide, it's a very, very, very real topic. And it's crushing, and it's depressing to read it sometimes. I mean, you'll have to forgive me. This video might be a little bit long, but, I really want to talk about this and talk about the logic behind, the force that brings suicide or suicidal tendencies and depression together. I remember I had gotten divorced years ago, and at one point in time, I had moved out, and I was living at my mother's house. And I thought, it was one of those things where I got out of a relationship and I thought to myself, this is what I want. And everything's going to be, cool, and life's going to go on. But then it's like, as the nights go on, you get lonely, especially in the evenings. For those of you who deal with a lot of loneliness and stuff, you'll notice your loneliness gets at its heaviest point in time when you go to bed at night. And one of the reasons why that is psychologically, you're at your most vulnerable point when you're laying down and trying to go to sleep. So it's kind of like you want to just throw your arm around your loved one, or just throw your arm around somebody, to where you could lay there and snuggle, and have that sense of security in that vulnerable point in time. And sometimes people cure this by, having one night stands and sleeping around whenever they can, get somebody over at their house. And sometimes people, they don't have any kind of a relief factor during those periods of time. And I remember when I was going through my depression, like when it was at another point in my life, and this was years ago. I was living in a basement. There were metal pipes that were on the ceiling, and I can't tell you how many times I sat there by myself with a bottle of Jack Daniels and said, "This is it. I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it." And I just couldn't bring myself to do it. I mean, almost did, but I sat there, and I had to put the bottle down, and I had to contemplate certain things. And and this is all real talk here, folks. I'm not trying to sugarcoat shit and bullshit you about things. A lot of people, they try so hard to be encouraging. Like, you have a lot to live for, and think about the good things, and think about that. But it's not even the point of that you have a lot to live for, because not everybody has a lot to live for. Some people have absolutely nothing in their lives. You think about someone who doesn't have a job, doesn't have money, doesn't have a home, doesn't have a loved one, doesn't have any friends at all. Sometimes shit happens. It gets real, and it happens, and the depression takes over, and people do stupid shit. But the one thing that helped me get through my suicidal tendencies on more than one occasion, and hopefully my advice will be able to help you get through things. I mean, and if not, I'm sorry. You might be able to find another way. I start thinking about, why would I want to commit suicide? And the first thought that came to my mind was, because I want people to look over my casket and say, "Oh, we should have loved him more. We should have paid attention to him more." And, and it's kind of like this attention afterlife type of thing. I want to make people feel really bad and feel sorry for me that I did this and they let me do it. Problem with that is it doesn't work that way. Now, I've been the person who has had suicidal tendencies. And again, with the story I told you of my friend a little earlier, I've been on that receiving end. And when my friend decided to take his own life, and this is what I think about, when my friend decided to take his own life, I didn't sit there and feel sorry for him. I felt sorry for his children that he left behind. I felt sorry for his wife. But I was actually pissed off at my friend. I was pissed off. How can you do that? How can you burden everybody? Because let me tell you, his problems might be over with, but because he took his own life, it became a snowballed chain reaction of bullshit for everybody here in the real world. Okay? We weren't saying, "Oh, he's gone and oh, life is sad." It was like, how do we move on from here? We didn't get an explanation. There was no note. There was no nothing. He didn't leave the passwords or nothing to certain various bank accounts for his wife to have access to his money for the kids, and it becomes a huge clusterfuck of bullshit for everybody over here. And the thing is you wanted us to feel sorry for you, so you took your own life, right? But we're pissed. We're pissed off. Oh, so pissed off. Sorry, I have to collect my thoughts for a few moments. And, we sit there and we wind up cursing that person. How dare you? Why'd you do this? Why? What's going on? What the fuck? You screwed all of us over. And you now, the person who wanted attention, who has now passed away, you can't defend yourself. You can't say anything. You can't take it back. You can't say you're sorry for hurting the people that you left behind because you were so selfish. You were so selfish that you decided to take your own life. There is nothing in this world at all that is worth taking your own life over, okay? I'm depressed. Okay, I've been there. It sucks. It hurts bad. But it's not worth it because you cure your pain just to leave other people with that pain to deal with, and they don't know how to deal with it. They don't know how to cope with it because you didn't say anything. That pain and your depression and anxiety has now spread to everybody else. And it just absolutely sucks. And I think about that all the time. Every time I'm having a really shit bad day, every time I have a suicidal thought, I don't think about myself. I start putting myself in other people's shoes. If I kill myself, will I make a point? And the answer is no, you won't make a point because everyone's going to be, you no longer are saying anything. You can't say anything. You can't defend yourself. You can't talk about your issues and problems with people. And your point just isn't heard because everybody else is being pissed off over your dead body. And let's pretend you're, not to forget, if you're a highly religious person, you commit suicide, you go to hell. I'm not a religious person. I don't believe in all that stuff. I don't have time for all of that stuff. And that's for possibly another day. But, the fact of the matter is, it's, you have to imagine that you're a normal person, okay? And someone that you love so dearly and someone you're so close to winds up taking their lives. Doesn't tell you anything. And you're left in this grand mystery and misery. And especially if you're a family or a wife or a husband, you are now left with the burden of whatever this person left behind. You're left with bills and you're left with, a bunch of shit and whatever things that this person didn't wrap up before he or she did what they did. You have to really put yourself in those shoes. You're not curing your anxiety. You're just passing it on to other people. You're not curing your depression. You're spreading a disease of depression like a plague onto those who don't deserve it. And it's such a hard, touchy subject, and you'll have to forgive me for dragging this on a bit. I'm trying to collect my thoughts because it's such a touchy topic, and like I said, I've been on both sides of the fence when it comes to the suicidal thoughts and stuff, and it's hard to talk about. Especially, I deal with depression and anxiety all the time, just like all of you probably who are watching this video, and it's tough. It's really tough. You got to keep in mind this. You think you're so alone. You think you're so unloved. Yeah, I have no purpose in this world anymore. Give me a gun. You are somebody's child out there. Whether your parents have passed or whether your parents still live with you or exist, they created you. Okay? I'm distant from my family. I barely ever talk to my family. But you know what? I know that they love me. I know I'm loved. Sometimes it's not enough for people. Sometimes people, they want to be in love. And if you want to talk about, what it is to find true love, that I have another video for that. You can feel free to go check out after this. But, you are loved. You're loved. I mean, because what you need to do, and instead of just sitting there, like the thing that bugs me is that you're thinking about doing this, and the first thing you do is you say to yourself, "No, I'm gonna off myself today, but I want to make a post on Facebook first." What? I mean, what that is to us looking at that post, that's a cry for help. That is a cry for help. You don't want to die. You don't want to die. Nobody wants to die. I do not know one person that they wake up in the morning and they have their morning cup of coffee and they're just like, this coffee's delicious. Today, I just want to die. If you made it, if you said that when you woke up in the morning and you made it to the end of your day, you don't want to die. You don't want to die. Nobody wants to die. It's stupid. It's pointless. I mean, one thing that scares me is death, because I sit there and say to myself, all right, I don't believe in heaven and hell, but what happens? If I die, am I just going to, just be lying there and it's just going to be complete darkness forever, for eternity? That's boring as hell. I don't want to be bored. I don't want to be bored. Let's pretend you don't have any friends. You don't have a loved one. Consider yourself lucky, man. That means you have all the time in the world to yourself to get you together. You don't have any responsibilities dealing with children. You don't have any kind of responsibilities dealing with the drama of relationships and marriage. You don't have any kind of responsibilities where you have to keep track of your friends and stuff. I mean, if you are by yourself, lonely, 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 you can consider that to be an amazing blessing, because that's actually less stress than what a lot of other people in bullshit and abusive relationships, and they have 5 children by 10 different people. And, I mean, that's stressful. Okay, being alone, you may get lonely and it might be miserable, but you want to talk about some serious bullshit stress? Go get married and have kids and deal with the same shit that you deal with. Deal with a spouse that's up your ass all the time or bringing you down. Deal with 5 kids that you have to make lunches for and help with their homework and help to raise them. And they're all different ages. And then they grow up and rebel against you. I don't even want to get into the whole parenting factor of it all. But your life, if you're lonely and you're alone, it's not that crazy. It could be a hell of a lot worse, a hell of a lot more manic than what you can deal with. So, I mean, seriously, you're by yourself and you feel that much alone, take the time to get yourself together. I always say this, I hate to be repetitive, but you need to find the shit that brings you joy and happiness. And you want to be a fucking Lydia Dietz about it and be like, nothing brings me joy and happiness. Bullshit. Okay? Bullshit. You can't tell me that you're, 15 years old, 20 years old, 30, 40, 50 years old, and you haven't found 5 damn things that you covet because they make you happy. Whether it's your favorite TV programs or video games or books or comic books or movies or whatever the hell it is, there's some shit in your life that makes you happy. And you need to get more of that happiness and joy into your life. And try to span out and discover some new things. It never hurts to maybe read a new book, learn a new trick, learn a new hobby. Do something creative with your life. I mean, you sit there all day long and life sucks, I'm going to kill myself. Well, stop. Pick up something. Go out to the hobby store. And there's, 10,000 hobbies at the hobby store that you can teach yourself and learn. You know what I did one time? Hey, I swear to Christ, honest to God, true story, during my depression, I'm by myself. I'm watching a movie. You may have heard of it. It's called Crossroads with Ralph Macchio, the guy from Karate Kid. And it is a movie about, in general, it's a blues movie. And in the movie, there's a character that plays a harmonica. And I just thought I'm sitting there watching it, depressed, and I was so enthused by the harmonica. I sat there when the movie was over. I said, I want to learn how to play harmonica. I literally put my jacket on, okay, and drove to Toys R Us and bought the cheapest harmonica you could possibly get. It was like a $7, $10 harmonica, right? And I bring this thing back home. Now I'm depressed, so what am I going to do? I'm going to try to play the blues, because that's what the blues is. The blues is you're dealing with hard times, and I want to learn how to play the blues on a harmonica because of what I saw in a movie. So I couldn't figure out how to bend notes like a blues musician would. So I wound up calling up Guitar Center, and I'm like, in my misery, I'm like, hey, I know this sounds really stupid, but do you have a harmonica specialist? They had a harmonica specialist. Right over the phone, I told this guy, I want to know how to bend notes on a harmonica. So this guy described in grand detail how to bend notes like a blues man on a harmonica. And in 15 minutes worth of time, I was bending notes. I was bending notes on a harmonica. All of this in a matter of like a 5-hour period of time. I started playing the harmonica. And then just day after day, I kept practicing and gave myself something new to do. Something sporadic, something I never tried before. And, it didn't cure my depression, but it definitely pulled my mind away from wanting to kill myself. Why? Because now I have a goal. I have a goal to want to learn how to play this fucking harmonica. And that is a great thing to help get you out of that dark hole that you're living in. You teach yourself something new, even if it's one thing, and then you study it. You practice it, you work your ass off and try to master that one thing. Just this way you just have something positive to look forward to. Goals, priorities, people. Life can be as fantastic as you make it. Life sucks. You made it suck because you keep yourself in this dark hole. You want your life to be good? I'm sorry. You have to put forth the effort and work and make it good. It's like you're crafting a piece of artwork, like a sculpture or a painting. You have the canvas. Life is the canvas. Your life is your blank canvas. You got your paint brushes and you've got paint. All you need to do is put forth the effort to open up the paint and put it on the little palette, right? And paint the picture that you want to create. The only way you're going to move forward when it comes to depression and anxiety is by actually moving forward. Progressing, evolve. You got to kick yourself in the ass. Make some friends. I mean, I tell you this much. Every single day I go to this anxiety site, okay? And if you are of the people that make these posts about killing yourself, you are not unheard. We see you. Sometimes we just don't know how to respond, okay? And most importantly, you are not alone. You're not alone in the way that you feel wanting to end your life. And you're not alone because if you reach out to us, okay, we will give you the psychological tools that you need to survive. Unfortunately, we may live thousands of miles away from you. There's nothing we can do. We can't even give you a hug, but we can give you words of inspiration. We can share our stories with you, just like I'm sharing my stories with you right now. And we can get through this together. And who knows, maybe we'll become lifelong friends. Or maybe we're just two people crossing at the crossroads of life right now. We're meant to be here. And then when we're done taking care of our shit, We move on. You go your way, I'll go my way, and we'll both deal with our stuff as individuals. But, life is not as bad as everybody thinks it is. Yeah, there's a lot of bad, crazy, weird shit that goes on in this world, and a lot of weird, crazy, fucked up people in this world, right? I'll give you that. But life, it's your life. Okay, this is my life. I'm focusing over here in my awesome Star Wars base. It's like a freaking museum down here. But it's life. Your life can be as good as you make it. Get on the horse, grab a hold of the reins, and do what you need to do to make you happy. Okay? Find your happiness, find your joys, and move forward. One step at a time, one day at a time, one thing at a time. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, or prophecies, you can feel free to hit me up here. Or you can find me on Facebook. Just look up Anthony Sevins and send me a messenger, Facebook Messenger. I'm always around if you need someone to talk to. If you're the kind of person, you're watching this and you're like, man, I just need a friend. I'll be your friend. If it'll save your life, I'll be your damn friend. Come and talk to me. My Facebook is open. I'm not one of those people where I don't like to talk to people. I love to talk. Okay, ask any of my friends. They'll be like, Tony can't shut the fuck up half the time. He just loves to talk. He'll annoy the hell out of you. But I don't mind, because you know what? I rather talk my ass off and annoy the hell out of you than for you to selfishly do something really, really stupid that you're going to regret in the afterlife. You can't take back. And I don't want to see that happen to anybody. I don't want to see that happen to me. I don't want to see that happen to you. Okay? We care. We give a damn. All you need to do to get through this is figure out the things that you need and want. So what? You're lonely. You're alone. You don't got nobody. Okay. Well, figure out the things that you need. You want to make friends. Well, go make some friends. Be positive. I mean, nobody wants to be friends. Nobody wants to be friends with people, who are always down. I mean, think about that. Let's pretend you're the happiest person in the world, right? And all of a sudden, you have all these people coming to you who are nothing but negative and depressing. They don't want to be your friend if that's all that you are. You need to cheer up a little bit. Find something to smile about. There's stuff in your life that you enjoy. Period. End of story. Even for all of my depression and anxiety, there's shit that I enjoy. Let me give you an example, okay? I'm going to brag. I'm going to boast a little bit here, okay? I have a life-size C-3PO head sitting in my basement, and it's like, on my most depressed days, I go, not many people have this going on, but I do, and I think that's cool as hell. And as you can see, it's something small, something trivial. It makes me smile. So you find the things that you enjoy, the things that you want, and the things that keep you happy, and stick to those. Even if it's one thing, one or two things. Like I said, go teach yourself something new. Move forward in life. You will not get anywhere in life unless you have take the time to move forward. Because obviously, you're here watching this video. You're here for a reason, because you want to live. You want help, or just a little bit of advice, a little bit of motivation to get you going. Death is not good for anybody. And trust me when I say there's no rush, because we're all going to die someday anyways. As they say, every dog has their day to die. We're all going to go bye-bye one day, and that is a fact of life. Why rush things? Okay, so what? We're a little fucked up and crazy in the head. Let's make the best of it. Embrace it. Enjoy it. Throw your rock and roll fingers up in there and say, I am a crazy son of a bitch, and I have some mental issues up here. And you know what? But I love who I am. And just keep kicking ass. And if you ever need to talk, I'll be around. Even if I'm your only one damn friend you have in this world, I don't care. I don't mind. I'll make time for you. But anyways, that's really all I have for you right now. I can sit here and give you 50 billion metaphors and different things, but I don't want to right now. I wish the best for you. I wish the best for you and your family, your loved ones, your children, whatever it is that you do have in your life. And I hope I hope you really find the things in life that bring you that joy and happiness. And once you, the great thing is that you don't know, you're in such a dark hole right now. It's like being in a dark tunnel with no lights and no flashlight, and you don't know where you're going. And sometimes all you need, like I've told people, I love this in the movie Superman the movie, right? When Jor-El is explaining Earth people to Superman, right? He says, "They are a great people, Kal-El, if they choose to be. They only lack the light to show the way." Sometimes that's where you're at. You're in a dark tunnel and you just lack the light to show the way. Sometimes one little motivational something, just to hear that someone can relate to your issues, sometimes it can make all the difference in the world. I wish you the best of luck. Until we meet again, this is Anthony Sevins signing off. Please take care of yourself above all things. Take care of each other.